Rambam continues in the eighth halacha. Yisrael sheyoresh esavi imoy Levi. If, let's say, there was an Israelite, a regular Jew, his grandfather was a Levi, and he owned a cottage in one of these Arei Miklot, hareze goyel kalavim afal pi she'ein a Levi. He inherits the rights of his grandfather who was a Levi, and he could redeem that cottage whenever he wants. Since it belonged to his grandfather, the Levi, he inherited his grandfather's right to redeem it forever. Because this halacha of being allowed to redeem back this home is connected with them being in the Arei Miklot, in this empty space around the city, and not in the owner. So even though the owner now is an Israelite, the grandchild could redeem it. The Levi sheyoresh esavim Yisrael. In the other hand, to make it fair, the Rambam says in Halacha 9 that a Levi that inherited his grandfather who was an Israelite, and he wants to redeem the cottage, even though he's a Levi, since he's inheriting his grandfather's cottage, he could not redeem it after a year. Because this law that a Levi could redeem it forever was not said only in these Arei Miklot, in these special refuge homes. Then the Rambam continues special about the Leviim. Shevet Levi muzhorin shelo yinchalu beretz Canaan. The entire tribe of Levi is not allowed to have a piece of real estate in the land of Israel. They could not get part of the bounty, or the booty, I should say, that Jews got when they fought a country. They could not take part of the booty. They could not have neither a chelek, neither a nachla. Chelek is babiza, chelek is the booty. V'nachla ba'oretz, and nachla is Israel. Chein oimer, ba'artzom lo yisimcha v'chelek lo yilach b'soicham babiza. You should not have part of the land and not part of the booty. So much so, uben Levi oy kohen shenotel chelek babiza. You were a Levi and a kohen, and you saw some booty, loike, you get lashes, because you were transgressed a negative commandment. If you get real estate in Israel, you take it away from that piece of real estate. The Rambam here in the 11th halacha says, it seems to me. When the Rambam says it's his own opinion. Doesn't necessarily have a source. That this law is only in Israel, where there was a covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that the children should get it. But another war, not in Israel, in Afghanistan, they could take the booty. But in another country, the Kesef Mishnah brings down, like in Midian, the Leviim could take part of it. This law was only in Israel. Normally, the Rambam doesn't give a reason on the halachas. But here, such a harsh law that the Levi cannot get real estate, cannot get booty, could only live in these refuge towns. The Rambam finishes off this book of Zroim, of dealing with agriculture, with a beautiful lesson in the next two halachas. The Rambam says the follows. Why can't the poor Levi get piece of real estate in Israel or in the booty? Says the Rambam, because he's separated from the rest of the nation to serve God. L'shor say to serve him, ulehedes drachov hayeshorim, and teach his righteous ways, umishpatav hatzadikim, and his good judgments l'rabim. Shenema, it says in the blessing to the tribe of Levi, Yoiru mishpatecho liYaakov v'seiroscho liYisrael. They would teach your laws to Jacob and your Torah to Israel. They have a mandate to teach the entire Jewish nation Torah. They have no time to deal with business. They were separated from the ways of the world. They're not running after real estate or after booty. And they don't have to go to a war. Yisrael. They don't get part of the land when they conquer the land. What they get is not because what they worked for. Their work is to serve God and teach the people. Elohim Chil Hashem. They're God's soldiers. Shenemar Borech Hashem Chiloi. God will bless his military. God will give them sustenance. He will give them sustenance. Shenemar, it says in Chumash, God tells the Leviim, you have no booty, have no inheritance. I am your inheritance. That's why the Jews, when they gave the tithe to the Levi, they gave it to God. And God gave it to the Levi in order to take care of him. He should be able to feed his family. There's an interesting halacha that a Levi cannot go like a beggar in the fields. Give me the tithe. I'll help you with push all your wheat, but give me the tithe. Don't embarrass your great status by being like a shnoder and saying, I'll help you for free if you give me some wheat. Be proud. You're cheloi. You're God's soldiers. And he finishes with the last and final halacha, which the Rebbe mentioned over and over. Not only the tribe of Levi, Elo kol ish v'ish mikol boyo elo. Any person, I work. In the times of the temple, it was only Levi. But now, anybody, Ashenod varucha yosei, which his spirit is uplifted. Ve'havinoim adoi, and his intellect explained him that to be separated and to just focus on serving God. Hashem, to know God. He doesn't want to be involved in business and is struggling for a living. He wants to be straight the way God created him, the way King Solomon says. And he took off from his shoulders the yoke that many people have searched for themselves. To just work for a living and work and pay the bills and work and work and work. He is holy of holy. And God will be his booty and his inheritance forever and ever. God will give him in this world what you need. Like he gave to the Kohanim and Leviim in the time of old. King David said, King David was not a Levi. He said, Hashem minos chelki v'choisi, God is my portion and my cup. Ato toimich goyroli, you will hold up my future. The Rambam says, blessed is the merciful one who helped us finish this book. The Rebbe would constantly say that every Jew can become a Levi and focus only on serving God and teaching Torah and doing what's right, and God will give him whatever he needs. The Rambam felt that you have to do a little business as much as you can, and you're not allowed to take money for serving and teaching Torah. Like we know, the holy Chafetz Chaim would open a store as long enough to make, enough to live, then he would close the store and continue studying. But the Kesef Mishnah argues on the Rambam, and he says, if you don't allow people studying Torah all day to get help, it's going to be hard to find people to donate and volunteer to study. It's an argument between the Rambam and the Beis Yosef. Main thing is everyone should be a Levi. God should give them whatever they need to serve God and bring us closer to Mashiach. Have a wonderful day.